My 29F husband, 29 meters, fell down from the first floor and broke his arm just to get my attention. How do I have a conversation with him about this and tell him that what he did wasn't okay? My husband and have been living together for over 6 years now, married for 4 years. Living with this person for 6 years, I've always known that he was a really shy person and he would always hide his feelings, and no matter how desperately he needed help, he would never tell anyone, not even to me. He would always drop hints and make me figure out what his problems were. He would never tell it to me himself. It is kind of a pain in the ass whenever he did that, but he wouldn't do it very often, so it wouldn't bother me much. Last morning, I heard a loud noise and I heard my husband scream in pain, so I rushed to see what had happened, and I found out that he had fallen down and injured himself. I thought he fell from the stairs, but he actually jumped from the first floor, on purpose. Our floor is approximately 10 feet high. I took him to the hospital where x-rays were taken, and he had broken his arm and 2 toes of his foot. While on the way back home, he started crying. I could see that he really wanted to tell me something, but words just wouldn't come out of his mouth. I took him upstairs to our room and helped him sleep, and asked him what happened and if he was crying due to the pain. He told me that he fell down on purpose because he desperately needed my attention, and he told me that he had no other way of getting my attention. I was completely heartbroken after hearing that. I didn't know how to react. I didn't want to say anything rash to him as he was already in pain. I just held my tears until he went to sleep. From the past 2 years, both my husband and I have been giving less attention to each other because of our work. We both have duties that we need to take care of, and by the end of the day, we're too tired to even tell goodnight to each other. I thought about it throughout the night, and yes, we both were going further apart from each other day by day. The last time we had an actual conversation was about 10 to 12 months ago when we talked about having kids. The last time we cuddled was when there was a lockdown and the workload on me was a lot less compared to now. The last time we kissed was a long time ago and I don't even remember it. I know that I've been really busy from the past 2 years due to my work that I haven't been able to give him what he deserves. I've never given him attention by myself. I've only given it to me when he begged me for it, and now I feel horrible. I feel that it's all my fault that I'm seeing this day to day, but at the same time I feel that it wasn't my fault. I had no choice. I only get 24 hours in a day just like everyone else, and I can only do so much. I will see what I can do and I'll try my best from now on to make time for my husband, and I will do it every day. I've decided it, because nothing on this planet is as precious to me as he is. I want to have a conversation with him about this, and tell him that what he did is not okay. I want him to know that he should never do such a thing ever again in his life. I want him to be more open with me, and maybe then we both can give each the attention that we deserve. If you can suggest me something on how to get on with this, I'd be truly grateful. Too long didn't read. My husband fell down from the first floor just to get my attention. You both sound very unwell. I don't think Op is as innocent and clueless about her husband's mental health as she makes herself out to be. I think we are missing a lot of information. You don't go from nothing to jumping from a high distance to purposely injure yourself without a lot of intermediate events. Yeah, I get the vibe she just doesn't really care. Agree with the others on therapy, maybe even couples counseling. Your excuse of only getting 24 hours a day is bullshit though, and you know it. I have not had a day off since the pandemic and work 50 hours a week Monday to Friday. My GF is a nurse at a local hospital, and when pandemic first hit she was bombarded with hours and most were nights on weekends. We still made time for each other because at the end of every day we still want to spend time with each other. You say you want him to be more open, but you haven't had a conversation in a year. His actions are that of a child, but so are yours, I'm afraid. If you don't address the real issues, the ones caused by them won't go away either. Edit, your excuse of only getting 24 hours a day is bullshit though. Yeah, like even a peck on the lips before she leaves for work would be a second out of her day. You make this sound like it's an out of the blue thing, but would someone really resort to injuring themselves before trying literally anything else to get a person's attention? You both need help. I feel like he's probably been trying to communicate and this was a 3 nuclear last resort. He needs serious psychiatric help. This relationship seems highly dysfunctional, you haven't had an actual conversation in a year, and you can't remember the last time you kissed. He self-harms for attention he refuses to verbalize, you think it's normal to not converse for several months at a time. This is above our pay grade. Best of luck. WTF job do you have that you literally work from the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep, every single day? Why are you even married to this man if you won't make time for him? What do you even get out of the relationship? Because it sounds like you don't have time for it and don't want it because you won't make time. Your husband needs psychiatric help, and you need to reevaluate whether you want to waste the entirety of your life slaving away at your job with no time to actually live. Obligatory thanks for the award thingies, I've never gotten those before. D. My 39M brother 37M and I have not spoken for years after a fight. Last weekend, he was in a bad car accident. His husband and kids need help right now and I'm the only family he has that can step up. How can I re-enter their lives? My brother and I have not been on speaking terms for around a decade, but on Sunday a car jumped a red light at a highway intersection and he was in a terrible accident. He has 4 kids and was the stay-at-home parent while his husband works outside the house. His husband was able to get this week PTO, but not next week. My wife and I both work remote, which means we can work from anywhere. Given that his kids have already gone through a terrible upheaval this week, we figured it would be best to let them stay in their home, and we could pack ourselves and our toddler up and watch them at their house in the event that my brother-in-law had to return to work. Even if he somehow doesn't have to be in office come Monday, I want to help. Even just grocery shopping or minding the kids so his husband can breathe. I have an inch. My wife and his husband actually enjoy each other and occasionally text pictures and updates of the kids. Somehow, independent of each other, my brother and I managed to marry 2 very similar people, nature/nurture be damned. Our separation isn't so bad or so dramatic that we don't go to events where we know the other will be, but when we are in the same room, we barely make eye contact. His kids know me as their uncle, and my son runs to him when he sees him. We all agree that it is unfair to keep the kids from knowing their cousins. He and I just don't speak other than necessities. He's still hurt and mad at things in our past. Up until this, I was 2. To tell the story quickly, we came from a lovely, broken family where mutual drinking led to a messy divorce. He and I each became the favorite of a different parent. Our parents constantly smeared the other, and, as we got older, started to smear the other's favorite child as well. It came to a head when my mother refused to help me when I became briefly homeless. Took my anger out on my brother and said things I shouldn't have, and we've been cold to each other ever since. If I had randomly texted him Saturday morning and asked to come over, he probably would have found a way to say no or would have ignored me. But I feel like the paradigm has shifted away from that. New field, new rules. His husband isn't even allowed to see him because the hospital has been shut to visitors because of COVID. I wouldn't be able to single-handedly hold the fort down with 4 heartbroken kids if our places were switched. My wife and his husband tried to bring us back together, especially after the birth of my son, but we were both too proud to bend or rehash the past. I'm not proud anymore. I feel like a child. I want my brother. I was wrong. I am wrong. I am scared. I feel in 3-word sentences right now. I want to respect him, especially right now with everything so fragile. But, my gut says staying put and not helping his husband because I'm afraid making pizza for his kids would offend him isn't the right choice. I'm just not sure how to start. I think I'm going to apologize to his husband as his proxy, and let my brother-in-law decide what should happen next. Any advice on patching shit up is wanted. Thank you. I hope that wasn't too much of a mess to understand. You show up and say the past is the past. We're family and we're here to help, then you hug your bill. Reading this makes me think you have everything you need to patch it up already in hand. Go be a great older brother. I bet the last thing on your Bill's mind is the beef between you and his husband. Any effort you make to bridge the gap will be welcomed. Just focus on what matters right now, being a loving and supportive uncle/brother/Bill. Step up and help out as much as you can. When your brother gets out, sincerely apologize for your past doings and for causing this decade-long rift between you. Not to be blunt, but none of your story matters. Go. You re-enter his life like Batman landing, 2 boots on the ground, saying what can I do? No discussions, no hashing the past. His family needs you. Go. My gamer wife won't pay attention to me. Me and my wife were recently married, and I know this is a tough time for everyone, and it's hard to stay busy, so people resort to video games and stuff. But recently my wife has been playing a lot of the old Guitar Hero game, and she won't pay attention to anything I say when she is playing. The only thing she talks about is how she stuck on 50% of some level. It's crazy train. This wouldn't be a problem, expect she hasn't stopped playing for a while now. Am I just panicking, or is Guitar Hero really ruining my marriage? Edit, please stop giving Guitar Hero advice. Edit 2, lesbian marriage. Edit 3, this is a separate issue, but I keep bringing up my hot British neighbor to make her jealous. Is this a bad move? Edit 4, stop talking about crazy train. Edit 5, it's on easy mode. Edit 6, she beat IT. This situation is crazy, but that's how it goes. Now she's on Reddit, bitching in poo oh whoa oh whoa oops. Jesus, don't try to make your partner jealous, that's childish and immature. Talk instead. Stop talking about crazy train, fucking kill a song. Edit 3, this is a separate issue, but I keep bringing up my hot British neighbor to make her jealous. Is this a bad move? Please tell me you are trolling. Yes, bringing up your hot British neighbor is a bad idea. All movements in a relationship should be based on integration, respect and love. That tactic has none of those. Play the dang game with her and enjoy her spectacle of talent. Crazy train is hard AF.